Okay, let's go.
Hanli joins the drifting cloud sect during his chi condensation stage. Major changes in the Heavenly South region over 100 years, decoding a record of a mortal's journey to immortality. Why did Hanli choose to join the drifting cloud sect? After 166 years had passed, what major events occurred in the Heavenly South region? What is Nan Gongwan's connection to Hanli? What happened to senior sister Qin Xiaoqian and junior sister Han Yunji? How are Master Li Huayuan and everyone else now? Why is Dong Xian'er frantically searching for Hanli? We'll decode the classic rules that have influenced the destiny of our protagonist. Welcome back to the 1991 Review Channel. To be honest, the life of a mortal passes by in just 100 years. Even a cultivator who reaches a foundation establishment stage only has a lifespan of about 200 years. Time flows like a relentless river. After journeying through the chaotic star seas, Hanli has returned to the Heavenly South region. At this point, he is already 197 years old. It wouldn't be wrong to occasionally call him Uncle Han. Most of the people he once knew, if they did not achieve core formation, are no longer in this world. If he meets anyone from his past in the future, be it friend or foe, it is all a matter of fate. For example, Wang Chan still remembers Hanli. Speaking of Hanli, upon his return to Heavenly South, the first thing he did was to inquire about the major events that had transpired over the past century. Firstly, the landscape of large and small powers divided by nations no longer existed. The entire Heavenly South is now divided into 4 great powers: the Devilish Tao, the Righteous Tao, the Heavenly Tao Alliance, and the Nine Nations Alliance. In the past, when the 6th sect of the Devilish Tao invaded the state of Yu, the Spirit Beast Mountain, a branch of the Devilish Tao's beast-controlling sect, acted as an inside agent. Because of this, the 7 sects of Yu became 6. Later, Han Yunji of Spirit Beast Mountain returned to the beast-controlling sect. This youngest junior sister is doing quite well, having successfully reached core formation, and she will meet her big brother Han again. The remaining 6 sects of the state of Yu, such as Nan Gongwan's Mass Moon sect and Han Li's former Yellow Maple Valley, have all relocated to the territory of the Nine Nations Alliance to establish themselves. The Nine Nations Alliance is adjacent to the Mulan Plains and frequently clashes with the Mulan Spell Warriors. The 6 sects of Yu state found themselves in a poor geographical location without spirit veins and were forced to act as cannon fodder. They were often sent into battle against the Mulan Spell Warriors. In the original novel, Li Huayuan died in battle during the war with the Mulan. Of course, everyone already knows Li Huayuan's fate in the animated version. It just remains unclear how the story will unfold when old Devil Yunlu meets Hanli again, and whether Hanli will avenge his master. When Hanli advances to the nascent soul stage, he will meet his martial uncle Lei Wanha and senior sister Yishi. From Lei Wanha, he learns that none of Li Huayuan's disciples succeeded in forming a golden core, meaning Song Meng and Zhong Wenyang have all passed away. Of Li Huayuan's lineage in Yellow Maple Valley, only Hanli survives. Fortunately, Xue Chuer from Yellow Maple Valley successfully reached core formation and even got married and started a family. Senior sister Qin Xiaoqian from Yellow Maple Valley never married. Her Tao heart was obstructed by longing, preventing her from reaching core formation. She contracted a strange illness and passed away. Hanli learns of these things later, when he meets Qin Xiaoqian's brother, Qin Xiaotian. Within Yellow Maple Valley, the one with the best prospects turned out to be Dong Xian'er, as she had joined the Harmonious Union sect. With the full support and cultivation from old Devil Yunlu, she naturally succeeded in core formation. She has also sent people to look for Hanli, because he has become her heart demon. The solution is much like Nan Gongwan's situation in the past. Either kill Hanli or marry him, otherwise, her cultivation will find it very difficult to progress. As for Nan Gongwan, she has already advanced to the nascent soul stage, but is currently living uncomfortably in the masked moon sect. Her senior sister is forcing her to marry Wei Lycan of the controlling spirit sect. It is said that Wei Lycan formed his nascent soul in just over 300 years and possesses boundless divine abilities, considered an unprecedented cultivation prodigy in the Heavenly South. Notably, the Grand Elder of the controlling spirit sect of the Nine Nations Alliance, one of the 3 great cultivators of the Heavenly South, Wei Wuya, is Wei Lycan's direct granduncle. But don't worry, everyone. When Hanli reaches the nascent soul stage, a great battle to win his wife will unfold. Hanli will be sweating bullets then. Next, I will introduce the 4 great powers of the Heavenly South. Hanli was already familiar with the Righteous Tao, the Devilish Tao, and the Nine Nations Alliance. But the Heavenly Tao Alliance is a powerful organization that emerged after he went to the chaotic star seas. The Heavenly Tao Alliance is a league formed by the sect of more than a dozen smaller nations to counterbalance the righteous and devilish powers. Its scale is larger than either the righteous or devilish Tao alone. However, if the righteous and devilish Tao were to join forces, the heavenly Tao alliance would still be no match. But since the righteous and devilish Tao cannot form a sincere alliance, and the heavenly Tao alliance is a rather loose organization, as long as the two major powers do not actively attack, the alliance cannot muster its forces for a large-scale war of invasion. This has created a tripartite standoff. For over 100 years, these three powers have not engaged in major wars, maintaining a miraculous balance. The greatest credit for this balance belongs to the Nine Nations Alliance. In the past, the alliance took in the six sects of Yu and many other sects exiled by the righteous and devilish powers, along with various unaffiliated cultivators, greatly increasing its strength. Everyone thought this would make it easy to overwhelm the Mulan spell warriors. Unexpectedly, the Mulan tribes received powerful reinforcements from their second and fourth tribes. Their number of cultivators doubled, and the war between the two sides became even more brutal. After many great battles, both sides suffered heavy losses in manpower. The Nine Nations Alliance fell into a weakened state, even losing some territory. Left with no choice, the Nine Nations Alliance had to send out a call for help to the righteous Tao, devilish Tao, and heavenly Tao alliance, threatening that if the three powers did not send troops, they would completely open their borders and welcome the Mulan spell warriors. Although the righteous, devilish, and heavenly Tao alliance were displeased, they knew that if the Nine Nations Alliance truly fell, their own lives would not be any better given the ferocity of the Mulan spell warriors. They had no choice but to dispatch some forces as reinforcements. As a result, after another decisive battle that led to the deaths of thousands of cultivators, the Nine Nations Alliance finally managed to resist the Mulan's assault and temporarily stabilize their position. However, from that point on, the Nine Nations Alliance learned its lesson. They demanded that the other powers take turns sending personnel to help repel the spell warriors. They refused to shoulder the burden alone, while the other three powers sat back and relaxed. After a long period of negotiation, the four powers finally reached a consensus with the Nine Nations Alliance taking the lead and the other three providing support, signing an agreement to jointly resist the Mulan spell warriors. Thanks to this agreement, for over 100 years, although the righteous and devilish Tao have consolidated the vast territories they previously acquired, they have not dared to restart the war due to the ever-present threat of Mulan and the warnings from a Nine Nations Alliance. As for Han Li's current location, the far northern region near the Boundless Sea, which includes the state of Qi and two neighboring countries, all belong to the Heavenly Tao Alliance. To put it simply, the Heavenly South is now composed of four great powers: the devilish Tao to the east, the righteous Tao to the west, the Nine Nations Alliance to the south, and the Heavenly Tao Alliance to the north. Because the Nine Nations Alliance borders the powerful Mulan spell warriors, the constant warfare has forced the four powers to cease their internal conflicts and unite against an external threat. Having introduced the political landscape of the Heavenly South after a century, let's return to why Han Li chose to join the Drifting Cloud sect. Initially, he planned to find a secluded cave abode, meditate, and use medicinal pills to cultivate until he reached the nascent soul stage. But, as the saying goes, man proposes, God disposes. Han Li discovered that no matter what pills he took, they were ineffective, whether they were Tier 6 or Tier 7 pills. They had no effect. This came as a huge shock to him. According to the classics, Tier 7 pills should definitely be effective for cultivators below the nascent soul stage. But Han Li is a special case. He had previously consumed a heaven-mending pill, which improved his constitution over many years. Although he doesn't have a heavenly spiritual root, his ability to absorb worldly spiritual chi has reached the limit for a 3 spiritual root cultivator, even rivaling that of a dual spiritual root cultivator. Furthermore, not long ago, he received the spirit-guiding chi from Mai Ning's marrow-cleansing spirit liquid. Combined with his current late core formation cultivation base, his speed of absorbing spiritual chi has only increased. Therefore, ordinary pills may be less effective than simply meditating and refining chi. Of course, the real reasons are a combination of many factors. Han Li also drank the Azure Flame wine from Foam Shi, a wine meant for demonic beasts to break through their limits, which undoubtedly had a significant effect. Whether he developed a resistance to the pills, only heaven knows. But given Han Li's consumption habits, developing a resistance will be normal. Right now, he is not far from the peak late nascent soul stage. If pills are ineffective at his current cultivation speed, finding a place with abundant spiritual chi would allow him to complete this stage in just a dozen years or so. Thus, Han Li shifted his goal to finding a nearby spirit vein. Places with spirit veins are usually occupied by cultivation clans or sections. The only way was to infiltrate a cultivation clan or sect. Cultivation clans are generally untrustworthy. They occupy inferior spirit veins and only accept disciples from within their family, making it difficult for outsiders to join. But cultivation sects are different, especially the large ones. They not only possess the best spirit veins, but also have many high-level cultivators. If trouble arises, Han Li wouldn't need to reveal his cultivation level, thus avoiding any disruption to his training. He could comfortably hide under the shade of a large tree until he formed his nascent soul, at which point he would have nothing left to fear. Then, he could simply reveal his identity, and the sect's higher-ups would only try to recruit him, not foolishly make an enemy of him. Naturally, he should choose the sect with the richest spiritual chi. The renowned sacred spirit vein of the Heavenly South appeared in Han Li's mind. Cloud Dream Mountain, located in Yen Province of the state of Qi, the second largest state in the far west. Cloud Dream Mountain is a famous sacred spirit vein throughout the entire Heavenly South. Deep within the mountain grows the legendary Spirit Eye Tree, one of the 3 great divine trees of the cultivation world. Every 200 years, the Spirit Eye Tree secretes a type of spiritual liquid called pure liquid. This liquid cannot be consumed directly, but is an excellent ingredient for refining certain spiritual medicines, especially the legendary sacred pill, the spirit stabilizing pill, which requires this liquid as a nurturing agent. The spirit stabilizing pill, also known as a soul settling pill, not only helps increase cultivation, but also stabilizes one's mind, reducing the invasion of heart demons. It is highly effective for advancing to the nascent soul stage and resisting heart demons. Han Li is about to form his nascent soul. Having a spirit stabilizing pill would be perfect. Currently, Cloud Dream Mountain is jointly occupied by 3 sects: the Ancient Sword Sect, the Drifting Cloud Sect, and the 100 Possibilities Pavilion. Therefore, infiltrating one of these 3 sects as a chi condensation disciple was the best option. Initially, Han Li's sights were not on the Drifting Cloud Sect, but on the 100 Possibilities Pavilion, famous for refining magical artifacts. However, this pavilion mainly accepts disciples from cultivation clans and few outsiders, so Han Li had to give up. The Ancient Sword Sect accepts both clan disciples and unaffiliated cultivators, but requires a rather high spiritual root aptitude due to its sword and blade arts. Although they frequently recruit, their numbers are the smallest of the 3 sects, and Han Li's spiritual roots were too poor to qualify. Finally, only the Drifting Cloud Sect remained. The Drifting Cloud Sect is a multidisciplinary sect that teaches everything and accepts all kinds of disciples, with the lowest entry requirements. As long as one has decent spiritual roots and potential, the sect is willing to accept them. Furthermore, if one's foundational cultivation is solid, and their basic techniques are cultivated to a high level, they will be accepted regardless of poor spiritual roots or advanced age. This condition was as if tailor-made for Han Li. Consequently, the Drifting Cloud Sect has the most disciples of the 3 sects, but is also the weakest. The sect's strength lies in its reputation for pill refinement. Only the 3 patriarchs of the sect can refine the spirit-stabilizing pill. Han Li disguised himself as a new 10th level chi condensation disciple and passed the entrance examination for the Drifting Cloud Sect. He wasn't afraid of his identity being exposed because, with his current cultivation and miraculous nameless breath concealment technique, no one below the mid-nascent soul stage could detect him without a thorough inspection. For Han Li, the chi condensation disciple examination was a mere formality. It's worth mentioning that Sun Ergu, a descendant of a past acquaintance, also joined the Drifting Cloud Sect as an unaffiliated cultivator and reached foundation establishment in just a few years. He later realizes that this master son is Han Li. The Drifting Cloud Sect is located on 6 Marvels Peak, which consists of 6 mountains. Han Li joined Heavenly Spring Peak. There, he was placed under the supervision of a cool and detached young woman in her 20s, Mu Peeling, who would later become Han Li's nominal concubine, with a mid-foundation establishment cultivation base. At this time, Mu Peeling was busy and paid little attention to Han Li. She assigned him a medicine garden to tend to himself, gave him a jade slip containing a water attribute cultivation method called the Profound Ice Arts, and then left with people from her old garden. Han Li was delighted that no one was bothering him, giving him a private place to develop. After this, Han Li will advance to the nascent soul stage within the Drifting Cloud Sect, officially becoming a sect elder. Once he forms his nascent soul, Han Li and the Drifting Cloud Sect will soar to new heights in the Heavenly South. Alright, that's all for this video. Thank you for watching to the end. If you found this video interesting and useful, don't forget to press like and subscribe to the channel to support me. Goodbye and see you again.